What's going on, everyone? I hope everyone is having a great night. Welcome to the Raw Footage Podcast, episode number 7. In tonight's episode, we are going to be talking about whether the marketing for Scream 7 is spoiling the movie. I expect this to be a very, very interesting conversation. But before we get into all the particulars of what this episode is going to be about, I am going to do a blanket hello to everybody in the chat. I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys' patience. I know you guys have been waiting for a little bit, so I appreciate you guys sticking around and waiting for me till I get some things situated in regards to what I had to get situated. So let's hit the comment section first before we get everything started and I bring on my guests. I do have a guest with me tonight, and it is going to be a fun conversation for sure. I do also want to let everyone know, if you haven't done so already, it definitely is appreciated if you shoot the like button on the stream. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm, as well as after the stream, when it goes into video mode, when it goes into replay mode, do your boy a favor and shoot the hype button. It helps this stream shoot up the leaderboards and helps more people get to see this stream that may not be here a part of the community. So it's greatly appreciated. But I am going to zoom through the chat here, say what's up to everybody, see how everybody's doing tonight. What's up, Shannon? I see you here in the chat. Glad to see you here as always. What's up, Paula? I hope you're having a great night. Val, the general, what's going on? Hey, you guys. Hope you're having a great night. What's up, Blucka? Glad to see you here, brother. I'm glad to see that you're back a little bit more. You know what I mean? You've been hanging out a little bit more often. I love to see it. Nothing like a Scream movie that brings a family together. I'm going to go say hi. Yo, what's up, King Matthew III? If you guys are wondering why I'm not pulling comments up right now, it's just because I'm just zooming through the chat. I want to say hi to everybody before I start pulling comments up because I am behind. Yo, what's up at Nerd Grows? Saying, hey, everyone, what's going on? Hope you're having a great night. All right, so you guys talking amongst yourselves. Scroll up a little bit more. What's up, Fantastic Oracle? Hope you're having a great night. Glad to see you here as always. Yo, what's up, DJ? I hope you're having a great night, brother. Glad to see you here. Carrie's in the house. Carrie Crave Cinema, Triple C, my homegirl. What's going on? Saying, hey, you're late, or I'm late. No, I'm definitely late, Carrie. You know how this goes sometimes. At Bristol with the Bars, what's going on? Hope you're having a great night. Glad to see you here. Ready to talk some Scream 7. It's going to be a great conversation. An interesting conversation. At Pisces Gal, what's going on? Saying, I honestly have questions about how Stu could survive the first movie. Well, hopefully in this stream we can answer some of those questions for you, Pisces Gal, because I think me and my guests, I think we have the recipe. Yo, what's up, Ryan? XV Ryan in the house. What's going on, man? I did see your message earlier, Ryan. I'm actually gonna take a second here in a few minutes to pull up YouTube and just go into chats and make you a moderator. So you're in the game, brother, and I appreciate you for reaching out and wanting to become a mod. That's awesome of you. All right, so it does seem like I am caught up for the most part in the chat. Awesome. I'm glad that I can get to everybody, that I didn't skip over anyone. So we are going to now move over to bringing on our guest. You guys know he is no stranger here to the channel. He is no stranger to the podcast. He is my brother from another mother, the sheriff of Springwood, the sheriff who is going to take down Freddy Krueger one day whenever they decide to bring the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise back into the fray. Because if you guys didn't know, my boy is also becoming a big movie and TV star. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my brother from another mother, Destin from Destination Station. What's up, brother? Whoa, I love that cup.
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, man. My luck. I was like, you know what? I need a little bit of coffee tonight. So yeah, this is my lucky little Scream cup. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing all right. I like how we came repping in style. I got the hoodie, you got the cup. We're ready to fucking go.
Hell yeah. especially for tonight, man.
Yes, absolutely. And I have a feeling we're going to have a really good conversation, not just amongst ourselves, but also with the chat in regards to what tonight's topic is about. Because I specifically, based on these last couple of trailers, as well as a post from Anna Camp herself that we are going to be talking about, I think that they are intentionally spoiling the outcome of this movie and possibly what we could see happening in Scream 8 when it's all said and done in Scream 7. So, bro, I think we are going to have a really fun time with this conversation based on some things that I picked up on. I want to pick your brain, see what you feel about it, see what the chat feels about it. And I just got a feeling at the end of the stream, we're all going to be like, damn, we might be on to something here in regards to the marketing, not just the marketing, but just the overall, even the creators kind of spoiling what this movie is going to be about and not giving a fuck about it. That's the whole premise of this conversation, is that I feel like they are intentionally spoiling this movie and they don't care. And I'll get to my reason as to why.
Yeah, I think Scream 8's a given at this point. I know it's not officially greenlit, but I think it's going to be greenlit pretty quickly. It's planned, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. They're just trying to, but these pre-sales on these tickets, man, I think it's a given.
I agree. I definitely agree. I mean, they're already slated to shatter what the $30 million basically prediction that was the original prediction for opening week. They're going to shatter that.
Yeah.
So
somebody was saying that their predictions are already better than Conjuring: The Last Rites, and that movie made bank.
That movie did make a lot of money. It did. Especially for a movie that I liked, but I felt like it was literally somewhat of a carbon copy of the last Insidious movie. And I'll just
yeah.
That.
Yeah. We don't have to talk about that.
No. I mean, I liked it, but still, seen that before. So
yeah.
But yeah, they're going to crush it. I think Scream. I mean, Kevin Williamson has already said in confidence at a most recent Q&A panel that he's directing Scream 8. So that tells us Scream 8's happening, in my opinion, unless this movie has a successful opening weekend. But if it's poorly received and the word of mouth isn't good, and then those numbers start to tick down really bad and drastically over the course of the next few weeks, then we might be in some trouble. We'll see.
I would look. Wouldn't it be crazy? I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's happening, but it'd be crazy if they secretly filmed Scream 8 already, and then we don't find out until the end of Scream 7, and they're like, "Oh yeah, here's a little sneak peek of Scream 8. It comes out this October, this December."
Right. That's what, bro. I've been calling that for over a year now. That I feel like we're going to get 2 Scream movies this year. I think Scream 8 is going to come out at the end of the year, 2 days before the actual 30-year anniversary to the first film. So that would be December 18th, 2026. I think it's going to happen, and I hope it happens. That'd be cool. Get 2 Scream movies in 1 year.
Hell yeah.
Especially after a 3-year hiatus.
Right. Has it been 3 years? Damn.
Yeah. Going on. In March it will be, I believe. Yeah. That's when Scream 6 was released. MMA Rusty, what's going on? It's been a little bit. Glad to see you here. Glad you can make it. Go down here in the chat. Yep, Ryan, no doubt, man. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for wanting to be a part of the community on an even grander, level. I appreciate that. Okay, talking amongst ourselves. Yeah, that's right, DJ. Landman Destin. That's right. That's right.
Thanks, DJ. Go DJ. That's my DJ.
Shit. I mean, fuck around and might find out Destin might be in Scream 8, man.
Man, it's great. We got Isabel May, and then we got Michelle Randolph that was also in Landman. It's Billy Bob Thornton's daughter. And it's crazy. I mean, I know it's all Paramount, so And you know, Kevin Williamson is like big fans of Taylor Sheridan. He said that on a Q&A recently. And man, that would be a dream, dude. I don't care if I'm just a background actor for Scream 8. I just want to be in it and be on set.
That's what I said. I mean, I said, shit, let me be Sydney Prescott's dishwasher at her coffee shop. I'll be happy.
Yeah.
You can just have you don't even have to see my full face. You just got to see me walking away carrying a bus tub and I'll be happy. Don't care.
My 8-year-old, he said, "Dad, you could be in Scream 8." And he said, "You could be Ghostface too." And I was like, "Boy."
That'd be some crazy shit. How would you feel if you did get casted to play in Scream 8 and then like towards the end of like they're like you audition and they're like, okay, we're gonna have you for a few scenes, and then you end up finding out those few scenes, it's like, yeah, so your main scenes are gonna be as Ghostface. How would you feel?
Man, nervous. I'd shit myself. Like, how am I gonna pull this off? But it would be also a dream come true.
I think you'd be able to do it. I know if I got X that opportunity, what, man? I'm getting. You want me to be Ghostface? I got this, no problem. People are gonna get fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, like shit. Hell yeah, man. No problem.
You see how extreme like Leonardo DiCaprio gets in like some of his movies? He'll get like real angry and start screaming and stuff. I'm be like, all right, that's the Ghostface I'm bringing to whenever I get revealed.
Yeah, that type of aggression, like not that powder puff goofy shit. You want people we want ghost faces who are going to be intimidating, who are going to kind of scare the shit out of you.
Like, I'm going for that title over Billy. Seriousness.
That's some big shoes to fill because Skeet absolutely bodied that psychotic role.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, Patrol? Hope you're having a great night, brother. Glad to see you here. All right, so we are about to get to the conversation, everyone. But before we do, we got Pisces Moore saying, what if they would make you think that Stu is AI and then we see him and actually revealed as the mastermind? So that's a perfect question to segue into what we are going to be talking about. So let's pull up the image, shall we? So we had this trailer come out the other day that showed Stu Macher, Matthew Lillard, briefly on the TV screen, a distorted TV screen. Now, I personally think this is going to be at Sydney's house when the TV cuts on, when she's in her house, has the guns, basically pointing everywhere, trying to figure out where Ghostface is, and we see the TV cut on. And I think that's when this moment here takes place or whatnot. So, Destin, I'm going to ask you, man, do you think, for one, this is Stu Macher as AI? And if this is Stu Macher as AI, is this all we are going to get of him outside of voiceovers in this movie?
I don't think this is Stu Macher as AI. I think this is his reveal of that he is alive. I think this is how I love the way his eye looks like that, and he's real intense up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we may not see him in the flesh in this one, but we know that he's pulling the strings kind of like a jigsaw a little bit.
Right.
But this is his reveal. But I think it might be taken as, Sydney might assume this is AI if she's already dealt with AI stuff early on in the movie. But I think we're going to see other stuff of him as AI, whether it be voice and video, early on in the film. But I think this is him.
Okay. So this is what I think, Destin. I want to think this is actually him alive. I'll say this. I think this is a version of him alive that is made into an AI video. I do believe that. However, I don't believe that's how he is going to only return. Now, I do want to ask you this. Do you think this was purposely placed in the trailer to make everyone, especially non-Stu truthers, believe that Stu is only returning as AI in Scream 7?
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're trying to put this out there, like trying to settle it, like, hey, no, he's back. Prepare for that. If you are the few that think that he is not gonna be returning, I mean, honestly, I think Stu's alive, and I think that is it could be an AI version of it. There's whenever I first saw that, my first thought, which I've kind of thought about it differently, is maybe that's the lost footage of Gail's camera, and maybe that's why it looks distorted because the TV fell on him and the camera,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe he took that camera with him or something, and that's him, saying his whole spiel. But also I saw there was an image, and I don't know if we're going to talk about it tonight because I know you got plenty of questions, but like this might, and I know we talked about this last night on Everybody's a Suspect over on my channel, but the possibility of like Jill returning. Have you seen where the cassette tape is being pushed in and it says, everyone thought it said for Stu, but it looks like it says for Jill.
Somebody said something to me about that they had a theory, but I thought it was just their theory, the way they made it sound like. I didn't think it was a real thing.
Yeah, it's like if you slow it down, someone's pushing in a cassette tape and it says for, and everyone said Sid or Stu.
Where's
it looks like it looks like it says for Jill, and it makes me wonder if this is a video to Jill while she's in the psych ward or something. I don't know. I'm just speculating here.
Where's the shot at is what I want to know. Did you see it?
I saw an image of it. It was circulating the last couple of days. I'd have to find it in the trailer or one of the TV spots of where it's actually at. But let me see if I can resurface it on where I saw it, and I'll send it to you on Instagram.
Do that, and I'm gonna hit up the chat and see what the chat is saying, because now you got me really interested in that. I didn't know anything about that.
Okay.
Okay, so Shannon saying to Carrie, we need Ghosty as dishwasher shirts. Haha, that's funny. I prefer just a regular black tee. I like to be comfortable when I'm working.
Okay, I'm about to send it to you, dude.
All right. The Fantastic Oracle saying, imagine if somebody planned out a real life Scream movie and reality was killing people and saying they were coming after us fans. Well, I see what you mean by that, but there was actually like a real life Scream incident where unfortunately 2 kids were inspired by the original Scream and Billy and Stu's characters and decided to do harm to one of their classmates. And I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to get taken down or anything like that. But there is like a real life like Scream incident that took place. And it's crazy because that story is now 20 years old and they're about to do a documentary on that story, right? I want to say after Scream 7 releases or maybe even before. So they're even capitalizing on Scream 7, coming out and stuff like that.
Are you talking about the 2 guys that killed that girl?
Yeah.
It's already out on Hulu.
See, so yeah.
I already started watching some of it.
Yeah, that just came out. I saw the original like 48 hours. I think it was like a 2-hour, episode or whatever on into, and it's just like sad, man. Some people take this shit entirely too far.
Yep.
But basically, Oracle saying, imagine if somebody planned out a real life Scream movie and really was killing people and saying they were coming after us fans. That'd be fucked up. There's some fans that threaten to do that, and I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Like I always
worry about the main stars at the conventions.
Yeah, right. we're not like some of these fans take, the whole difference of opinions entirely too far and too seriously, and it shouldn't be that way. We should all be able to have a difference of opinions and a difference of perspective and still be able to be cordial and respectful to one another. But some people don't feel that way, so it's unfortunate. We do have a super chat in the house. Thank you, Shannon, for your $5 super chat. Talking Star Wars, saying, I don't know if you noticed, it looks like Stu has a black eye in the Pixel video. I could pull it back up. I didn't notice that. Thank you again, Shannon, for your super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, let me pull the image back up real quick.
Yeah, you see his left eye?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it does. Yeah, there does look to be some discoloration there.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Now
too.
that's interesting because if that is black and blue like that, or there's a little bit of black there, and the other one isn't, that tells me that maybe, especially because we always say, Destin, that we need to see sometimes the effects of when Ghostface gets hit in the face with hard objects.
Mm-hmm.
When they take the mask off.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me wonder if Stu was actively maybe chasing someone in this movie, and they, obviously hit him with a blunt object, and that could be the reason why his eye looks like that.
I think it's from the TV, dude. I think this is scarred. I think he's maybe blind in that eye or something.
That's possible. That could be from, like, you just think it could be just like a lifelong, like, bruising there.
Or yeah, like maybe glass, because you see it looks like it's cut underneath it too. So I think maybe like the glass got in his eye and under his eye and all that. He's going to be looking a little scarred, like Two-Face.
Oh, I expect him to look scarred. I definitely expect him to look scarred for sure. But I'm just looking at that like black around his eye, and it looked like homie got punched in his shit.
What if, like, when this movie starts, or whenever we see this scene, it's not even distorted? They just did this for the trailer purposes.
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
I can see them doing that. But I do think it will be distorted. And the only reason why I say that is because you can even hear the audio when he says surprise Sydney and it's showtime, bitch. You can tell that that's like automated. Now, could they clear that up in the movie itself? Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're going full on in with this whole Stu Macher AI angle as a way to trick the audience into believing that he's not coming back alive. I think they are intentionally doing that. I think that's why they specifically placed that moment in the trailer with us seeing Stu Macher on a pixelated television for that exact reason, because they knew Stu truthers and non-Stu truthers, all the fans, would sit there and say, oh, well, maybe this is only going to be AI. And that right there is exactly what they want, because that's the misdirection. Yeah, we're going to feed you this AI. We're going to show you Stu in AI form. But at the end of the day, we're still going to reveal him as alive. But we're going to give you as much AI Stu. We're going to shove this down your throat till you really think, yeah, he's not coming back alive. And then boom, that's when they hit us with the switch. Because Destin, when we were talking to Bearded last night, he brought up something interesting in regards to Kevin Williamson being quoted saying that Scream 6 is his favorite Scream movie. And this is why I think, even though creators don't have anything to do with the marketing itself and what scenes get put out there in the trailers or whatnot, I think the marketing is vindicative of what we are actually going to see in the movie. I think what we are seeing in these trailers, for the most part, with maybe a few scenes getting cut out along the way, I think what we are going to see in this movie is exactly what we have been seeing in the trailers. And I think they are doubling down on this notion that they are going to bring Stu Macher back. And I also think they could be doubling down on revealing Anna Camp as a killer. the reason why I say that is because what was the number one thing that Scream 6 did, Destin, if you can guess it? What do you think I think is the number one thing that Scream 6 did in that movie?
Didn't hit the landing on the killers.
Not just that. Not just that. What did they do with the killers?
Oh, they made them relatable. They made like a relation, like a family.
Predictable.
Oh, predictable. Yeah.
Very, very easy to predict who the killers were going to be. And this is why that is important, because Guy Busick is still co-writer for Scream 7. And Radio Silence said themselves, and he is a part of that group, Radio Silence said themselves that they intentionally and purposely made the killers predictable so the audience would easily predict it. Their whole point was they weren't trying to really make a murder mystery. If Kevin Williamson's favorite Scream movie is Scream 6, who's to say that in that fashion he's not doing the same in regards to, I'm going to let you know who the killers are in this movie. And I'm not going to give a damn about me intentionally blowing it, because I want you to know who the killers are in this movie. Because at the end of the day, it's not about who the killers are in this movie. It's about why they're in this movie and how it connects to everything and stuff. So I genuinely believe, bro, they are purposely putting shit out there, that the stuff that we have been getting in these trailers, again, creators have nothing to do with that. That's solely on the marketing. But I think what we have been seeing in the marketing, especially even on social media, with all the Stu Macher posts, with everything that they have been doing, they are doubling down. They are letting us know Stu Macher is fucking back, bro. I don't care what anybody. Could I be proved wrong? Absolutely. But I'm standing 10 toes down on this shit. My rating went from 60% Stu was coming back with a 40% he wasn't. Now I am 90% certain he is coming back with a meager 10% run back, saying he might not come back. But I'm almost at 100 percentiles. I am that confident that we are going to see Stu Macher return alive in the flesh in this movie. And I agree with you when you say that moment where we see him on the TV, I think that's a part of the reveal, because it's at Sydney's house. And then what do we see directly after that in that trailer? We see Ghostface Tatum having her tied up in Sydney's house. And also, what do we hear or whatever? Did I show you that? I don't think I did show you that. The Showtime trailer with the Freddy reference?
Maybe not. No, I don't think so.
Okay, so there's this trailer out there or whatever, this TV spot where you hear it. I do believe it's Stu Macher, but I believe it's obviously AI or whatever and stuff like that, where you hear him say, "It's showtime, bitch." I think that's when he's talking to her on the TV, and that's when we're going to get the reveal. When he says it's showtime, bitch, that's because he is verbally letting us know we're about to get the reveal. And then that's when Sydney goes to wherever Ghostface has Tatum hiding in her house, and that's when we're going to get the reveal, and that's when the fit is going to hit the sham. So, yeah,
I want to see that. I want to hear that. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm about to say, I'll go fish for that because I have it in my files. And if you can so kindly just do me a favor and just keep the chat entertained for a second. Real quick, I do want to say what's up to Denisha. What's going on, Denisha?
I'll keep the chat entertained. I'll take my shirt off.
All right. I didn't
know.
Oh, man.
What you want me to do? I don't know what to do with my hands.
Real quick, we have 46 people watching this stream at almost 11 o'clock Eastern time at night, and that's just incredible to me. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this episode of the podcast. If you haven't done so already, shoot the like button. It definitely helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget, when this goes into replay mode, please hit the hype button as well, as this will help the stream shoot up the leaderboard so we can get more notoriety on the channel and the podcast in general. What you gonna say, Destin? You was gonna say some shit.
No, I was just we got Jamie in the house. Good to see Jamie.
Hell yeah.
Carrie said, I refuse to throw ones. This. I was like, just send me some crypto. Send me some Bitcoin.
I do want to get to this
kidding.
real quick. Troll saying, I think you can kind of see him wearing the sweater from the first movie. I think this is Gail camera footage from Scream 1 when the TV is falling on him. And I can see where people would say that. And I'm not sitting there saying they couldn't have digitally recreated that for AI purposes. The issue I have with that is that we don't see that camera falling on him when the TV does. We don't. That camera would literally have to fall directly like on his shit when that expression happens. It would.
Yeah. And that would have to be also his wounds are already after that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that would be like showing the image before his wounds appeared. So yeah, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, unless they digitally made the scarring and stuff like that, I guess you can make an argument for that because we are fucking with AI and stuff. So that can happen. I just feel like there's so minimal amount of footage on Stu Macher that it would be very hard for somebody to use even a tiny little bit of footage from him in the past now. Like, I even looked into that. And basically the information I was given was that somebody would have to have a really, really special AI software, like a really expensive AI software to be able to pull that off. And obviously, this is a movie, so they would have the financial backing to have that type of AI system to make it work. So it could very well be this camera footage from Gail's feed. I just think it is a stretch because then you're basically asking us to believe that that camera fell directly on his face when he made that expression. And also, we got to remember, he put his hands up.
Right. He braced the impact. Yeah.
Yes. So if the camera would have caught that, if that was from Gail's camera, if the camera would have fell with the TV, we would see his hands up.
Yeah.
Man, I just remembered that. Yeah, but I can see where you were coming from with that, Troll. There's a lot of people who think that's from basically Gail's camera footage. So, I mean, could it be that? Yeah, but I personally think it's a stretch, like, especially now that we remembered that he did brace himself for impact by putting his hands up and stuff like that. So, but again,
when he is revealed, I just kind of want a little bit. I hope he just provides like a lot of like, or a flashback of where he was, like a jigsaw, like I was there the whole time with Richie and Amber. You know, all this kind of stuff. Like, this is what happened that night. And we kind of like see him like a de-aged Matthew Lillard, and throwing the TV off his head and then kind of like picking up Gail Weathers' camera or something, you know, and then walking out the back door.
Right. Or we fucking see Roman, you know.
Or yeah, like, hey, like him open up the door and say, hey, this way.
You know. I actually think Roman was there in the house. I do. I believe Roman Bridger was in the house that night. I think they could reveal that. I'm kind of hoping they do reveal that because that's who I would want, especially in regards to if Stu is going to be revealed alive and he's this big mastermind. I would want Roman to be the one to kind of coach him and be in that mastermind. I think, I just have a feeling because also remember, and I spoke about this before to you, Destin. In Scream 3, in Roman's movie, Stab 3, they were going back to Woodsboro, and he had the set of Stu Macher's house on location on his set of Stab 3. So that tells me, in my opinion, in his movie, he was going to reveal something about Stu Macher. Why would you feel the need to put his house in that movie if you weren't going to do something in regards to his character?
Right.
You know, so
it was kind of like he was trying to make he was trying to make the movie that he thought needed to be made.
Right. And then we talk about it all the time. There are definitely two killers in that chase scene at the Stab set or whatnot. And the one killer who is mainly chasing Sydney chases her exactly how Stu chased her knew the exact locations, the exact spots to pop out everything. Roman, wouldn't have known that because Stu was in the house. Roman would have known that. So still, man, I just hope if they're going to tie all this in, it all makes sense and it's a banger of a movie and it's a banger of a story.
It's going to be, dude. Honestly, I'm putting it right here. I'm putting it down. That this is going to be my favorite Scream movie up next to the original.
Oh shit!
I think so.
Wow, that's strong words. I do want to ask you a question here in a second, but I want to get to Paula's comment because she said he looks like Freddy Krueger in that shot. He does, doesn't he? He has that wicked ass, like crazy. What I love about that shot is that it further proves, regardless to what, if Matthew's going to be brought back alive as Stu or whether he is just AI, they're not toning Stu down. He is the same old Stu. If not, just elevated. He's even more elevated, and stuff. And that's what I want to see the most. I want to see Stu Macher be unhinged. And I think in that shot that we have pulled up here, you can definitely see an unhinged Stu Macher. And he does favor Freddy Krueger in that moment. And also, in this clip I'm about to pull up, he says a Freddy Krueger type of line. He says, "It's showtime, bitch." Obviously, Freddy's was "Welcome to Primetime, bitch." But still, it's still a nice little tweak of the reference and stuff like that. So there are definitely some Freddy Krueger vibes going on with Matthew Lillard as Stu Macher in that clip. I love it too. Bro, I've always said that I felt like Matthew should play Freddy Krueger.
Dude, if he could pull this off, his look and just mannerisms and everything, like I'm almost certain he could too. He's kind of becoming part of like up there on my list. It never was on my list, but this might change my mind. We got 57 people watching. Hell yeah,
bro. I just realized that. Guys, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
Smash the like button.
Yes, absolutely. And don't forget, after the stream is over, shoot the hype button as well.
This is a reminder.
Whoa.
Set my arm security system.
That's my girlfriend, Alexa.
This is a reminder. Set my arm security system.
She don't ever shut the fuck up.
Security systems.
I'm kidding.
Unarmed. It reminds me of
I gotta arm my security system.
Oh, right, no, you're good, brother. No problem. Malicious Clouds 1614. What's going on, bro? Hope you're having a great night. Saying it's gone full meta. The fans brought Stu back. You're damn right we did. And I'm so proud to say that I'm a part of that fandom who did that. It's Matthew deserves it. I feel like the franchise in itself, if there's any character from the dead, if they're actually going to go full on and bring Stu Macher back alive, if there is any character that was thought to be dead that should come back alive, it is Stu Macher, in my opinion. I think that he is the most unpredictable killer that Scream's franchise has had to offer. And I've always wanted to see that character get more elevation. I wanted to see him get more of a spotlight. And it definitely seems like we are getting that in Scream 7. And I'm super excited for that. And after meeting Matthew a few times, how could I not be happy for the man? He's an awesome human being. He truly is. Like, he's genuinely a really nice guy. He loves his fans and he treats his fans really, really well. Bluck is saying, I imagine this whole movie is going to be a misdirection to upset Stuthers. And in the final moment, they'll hype you up with his return for 8. I can kind of see it playing out like that too, Blucka. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if Stu isn't revealed at the end of 7 alive, I think they're going to leave enough on the table to where he's going to be revealed in Scream 8. Because, again, this is supposed to be a 2-part story that transitions into Scream 8. So if that is the case, we do not need Stu Macher back alive in Scream 7. You can hold off on it. But I still think, and I think this would actually be a cool angle to go with, because they kind of did it in Scream 6, but they didn't go full on with it, is if you reveal that Stu is alive, but he's still out in the wind at the end of Scream 7. We still got to go hunt this sumbitch down. Kind of like Halloween Kills when they went to hunt Michael down to an extent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing something like that, especially if we're going to be following Stu and getting some POV shots and following him as the killer while he's slashing people up, but also trying to remain anonymous until he wants to really reveal himself to Sidney or however he plans to do it or whatever. I wouldn't mind Scream 8 following him in that type of way that Jason Carvey was going to be followed at the beginning of Scream 6.
One thing that that the Scream franchise, which I love the whodunit angle, and we get ghost faces every movie and everything, different ghost faces, but there's not a Mr. Ghostface, And I thought about making a fan film called Mr. Ghostface, but anyways, besides that, I think that the franchise needs a definitive Ghostface, kind of like Jigsaw for Saw. We need somebody that is the Ghostface, the face of it, and I think Stu would be perfect for that if they decide to go forward. Because think about it. Think about how like the Saw franchise, when they did Saw X, that was a sequel in between 1 and 2.
Yep.
They could, if they take this angle, they could do a sequel in between 1 and 2 or 2 and 3 or something like that, or wherever in the franchise, and show what Stu was doing in another town, another Ghostface attacks, maybe with Kirby involved or something, like I think that's what the franchise really does need, because Ghostface is menacing on camera under the mask, but a lot of times when the mask comes off, the killers themselves are not that menacing. You know what I mean? Yep. And I think we need that menacing villain. We need the villain. We need Mr. Ghostface. That is the ultimate,
You know what the problem with sad movies is, Destin? There's no bad guy, no Michael Myers to keep coming back.
Now we got one.
And that's what I've been saying too. Stu could literally be Sidney Prescott's Michael Myers. He could be her boogeyman. And that's what I want, especially because this franchise loves playing into the tropes of Halloween. So why not double down? That's why I think now that Darth Vader breathing, I actually think that's a direct homage to Michael Myers' deep breathing. That's what I think. Especially if they reveal that Stu is alive and he's the one doing that deep breathing. I absolutely love that they would incorporate that for his character underneath the mask. Because, again, it would be playing into the notion that he's her Michael Myers.
Right. Exactly.
Man, bro,
and that opens it up for prequels, dude. That's what I'm saying. It's like we could actually go back and see, they might even get another. I don't really want another cast member to play like a younger version of Stu or anything like that. But we could still have him as the Jigsaw character in a prequel, and he has 2 other accomplices that are out doing his dirty work for him in another town, because where has he been all these years? He's been in the background, but I'm pretty sure there's been times that he's urged to pick up the knife all those years later,
This is one thing that I picked up on in regards to Scream 2, because there's going to be some Scream 2 references in this movie. If you wanted to make an argument that Stu is involved in Scream 2, just look at Mrs. Loomis's motive. It's literally identical to what Stu's was going to be or whatnot. She was basically going to frame Mickey for the murders, but also frame Mickey for killing Sidney, with Sidney killing Mickey along the way. Stu's plan was to have Neil kill Sidney and then off himself.
Right.
As a way to frame him. Their motives are basically identical.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not no genius or anything like that, but I don't think it really takes much. I don't think you would need to have much of an imagination to think that Mrs. Loomis might have needed some help with that motive a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Mrs. Loomis wasn't a killer up until her son was killed.
Yeah.
And obviously she went mad. and stuff. But in my opinion, for somebody who is a regular like housewife, just a regular person, to come up with a motive like that, you would have needed some help with that motive. And I think if you are going to reveal anything about Stu in Scream from Scream 2, maybe we get to see something with him and Mrs. Loomis.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something like that. Like you're talking about prequels and stuff like that. Maybe we get a flashback to that or something and stuff like that. So
dude.
10 days, 11 days. Well, we're really 10 days away because the Thursday release. But officially, it's 11 days away. Bro, we're so fucking close.
Dude, I know, dude. I know. I'm so excited, dude. I wish it was this week, but it's next week. And
right.
I almost want to like call out of work for the whole week. I don't know why. I'm just like, I don't want to be at work at all this week. Like, it's going to fuck up my body.
Straight, like every day for 4 hours a day that you take off.
Go see Scream 7 like twice a day, every day.
Right? unless it's a dud. I don't think
don't even put that into the ozone. Don't put that in the atmosphere. Like, it's not. I don't think it's going to be a dud. I really don't think it's going to be a dud. I think there will be people that complain about it because it's not taking the whole meta angle very much. It's more like a family affair here. I'm kind of good with that. Let's go back because if the rules is reboot, okay, well, this is how you reboot it. We're gonna chill out on Stab. We're rebooting everything. You know what I mean? So that I think it's perfect. Let's go back to the feel of the first movie.
Right.
And then we could, maybe after this, like, maybe they'll reboot Stab? Or I mean, you're just retreading it that way, but
I think they already reboot Stab. We see a new Stab movie poster at Stu's house.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So
fucking Gail.
Yeah. Just don't let it be Stab fans trying to make a movie. Well, I will say this, the killers.
And then we're going to pivot into this because the second reasoning as to why I believe they're definitely doubling down on letting us know who the killers are. But before I do that, I do want to get to some of the chats. Dom, what's going on, bro? Hope you're having a great night. Glad to see you here. If you are still here, I know I'm a little bit behind, so I am going to scroll up. Thank you for that earlier, Carrie, with the likes. Yes, definitely. Guys, we have 63 people here. If you haven't done so already, please shoot the stream a like, the episode a like. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget, after the stream is over, shoot the hype button on the stream. It helps get this recommended in videos and helps with the leaderboard situation so that we can get more audience here to the podcast and to the channel in general. Carrie asking, what about Jill? What do you mean, what about Jill, Carrie?
Oh, the image I sent you. Did you get it? I sent it to your Instagram.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't even check that.
Now, I don't know where that's at in the trailer or anything, but that's been circulating all over like my Facebook and Instagram today. It's actually been today.
Okay.
I haven't really looked into it. But a lot of people are like, does that say Sid or Stu? I was like, that fucking looks like Jill.
All right. Ooh, yeah, that's
Can you save it over and bring it up on the screen?
I can see, I can. Is it a video?
It's an image. Someone screenshot the image of the trailer.
That looks like it says Jill. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me see if I can save it. Yeah, I got it. Good.
Yeah, I want.
My middle name has a J in it. I know a damn J when I see one.
J's on my feet.
Hold on. Let me pull it up here in the media assets. Okay. So here it goes right here. It's so hard to tell because it's like, now I do think that's a J, but at the same time, you could say it's an S. But it's so hard to tell because the remaining letters where the J or the S is, you can't make those letters out. But what I do find interesting is whoever this lady is, the sweater she's wearing, it looks very similar to the sweater Anna Camp's wearing. Like in material. Let me take the comment down.
Or maybe Michelle Randolph at the beginning of the movie?
I don't think hers has like the ruffles. She has like a regular like pink sweater. This one, hold on.
Yeah, it almost looks like a Jill more than, I mean, it does look like an S as well, but
it's so hard.
Who is that for?
I have no idea. But what I want to know is why. I mean, unless this is a like what's his name on Robbie Rivers TV show studio, who the fuck still has a VCR?
Well, that's what I'm wondering about the distorted image with Stu's face on it. Pop in a VHS and it's like all distorted, and maybe this is his message to Jill.
Bro,
I don't know, dude.
You know what this reminds me of?
It got me thinking a lot.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of fucking Martha with the Randy tape.
It does remind me of that too. Yeah. Like popping it in and these are the rules type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, you can't make those other letters out.
A lot of people were saying Stu or Sid, but then I was thinking,
what do you guys
that could be a Jill. What do you think, chat?
Yeah, what do you guys in the chat think? What do you think this says? Does this say for Sid? Does it say for Stu? Does it say for Jill? Because I think you can make the argument, and I think I'm in agreement with April here, that looks like fucking Jill. And if it does say for Jill, then you have to start making concessions that they might be bringing Jill back in this fucking movie, because Kevin Williamson did say this is a family affair. This is a family drama.
Exactly. What did I say last night? Can you feel that? I feel like Ace Ventura, like figuring it out. Can you feel that?
This is a family affair. This is a family drama. So, and also, the long-running theory for Jill Roberts' return has always been amongst the fandom that they wanted to see her in a mental institution. And what the fuck do we have in Scream 7? We have a mental institution.
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit here and overreact and say that this is what this is and that this tape does say for Jill. But I will say that the argument can be made for it. I will say that. Up until we watch this motherfucking movie next week, we're not going to know. But what I do find interesting is, based on the sleeve of this person's shirt, this looks like this is Anna Camp, in my opinion, based on what we've seen her wearing.
She got pretty nails.
Well, I would expect you too. Yes, I mean, good looking woman like that. You know what I mean? Like, but I think this could be Anna Camp in this moment. Now, if this is Anna Camp, it makes you wonder if, well, I would like to think Sydney would have to be present during this moment. But if she's not, what if this, all right, so let's say this is either Jill or Stu, but I'm going to say Jill, right? what if in so many ways Anna Camp's character is kind of like Dr. Gordon was for Jigsaw? You remember when Dr. Gordon got that fucking tape from Jigsaw in regards to bro, hold on. I gotta take this off. Hold on. Now you done got now this shit done got my brain circulating. Hold on. You remember when Jigsaw saw the final chapter, sent that tape to Dr. Gordon when Dr. Gordon was revealed as his accomplice since all the way in part 2.
Mm-hmm.
What did we see happen? We seen Jigsaw's wife, Jill. How ironic. Jigsaw's wife, Jill, dropped that tape off to Dr. Gordon, letting him know, in the event of anything happening to me, look after Jill. And if anything happens to her, you act accordingly on my request or whatnot. What if, in regards to Anna Camp's character, she is something of a Dr. Gordon to Jill? What if Anna Camp worked at the mental institution and was Jill's fucking doctor?
Or maybe she got out.
But that's what I'm saying. Anna Camp is basically connected to Jill because she was maybe a doctor of Jill's or her psyche, kind of like a Dr. Loomis at this Fallbrook Psychiatric Hospital, and Jill was able to manipulate her enough into going along with this plan. And this is why I think this argument can now be made even more now so than ever because of what Eric sent me yesterday. Did you see this?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I got you exactly in regards to what it says. Now, mind you, Anna Camp posted this on, I believe, her Instagram, and then apparently it got deleted. It says, living next door, best friends by design. If trouble comes knocking, it's Sydney and I. But what's more important, Destin, in this shot is that Anna Camp's character, Jess, is holding an Out of Darkness book from Sidney Prescott. What movie was Out of Darkness introduced in?
Number 4. You think that maybe she's dealing with
weird,
maybe
bro.
that's how they bond is because of they have like both past traumas.
Well, I will say this in regards to a theory that Eric kind of shared with me in regards to what's been hitting the rounds. There is speculation that Anna Camp's character will be Ghostface, but that she's not Leslie Mocker, and that she's not a fan of Ghostface or Stab per se. She's a fan of Sidney Prescott. And when you think about what we see here with her with that book, it kind of leans into that theory. Now, this is what I want everybody to hold in the back of their minds. Even if Anna Camp is revealed as the killer, right? And let's say she's not Leslie Mocker. That does not mean that she is still not, that does not mean she's not an accomplice to Stu Mocker. This is why I say that. If we believe we are getting the cult of Ghostface in this movie, then it's not impossible to think that Jessica's character is involved with the cult of Ghostface, but unlike all the other Ghostface cult members, she's more of a fan of Sidney. She's more of a fan of Sidney as opposed to Ghostface. All the other ones are fans of Ghostface, obviously. That's why they want to don the costume. That's why they decided to join the cult to begin with.
Right.
Her whole motive and her whole stick is, I like Sidney.
How does she get to move next door to her? That's very convenient. That's what they have to make that make sense.
Not necessarily. I mean, who's to say Sidney didn't move next door to her? Because remember, in Scream 6, it was said that Sidney was living in Seattle. And then, remember, she was supposed to be taking Mark and the kids to a safe place. Who's to say this safe place is Pine Grove, Indiana, and this is where she settles down. She has her little business, so on and so forth. And who's to say she doesn't move next door to Jess?
But I'm gonna call it Mark
will
Evans
also
and
say
Anna
this.
Camp's characters having an affair.
But I will also say this. By what the post is saying, it does make it seem like Jess did move next door to Sydney, because it says living next door, best friends by design.
By design, yeah.
Which hints at this has all been planned.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about, bro. You see what I'm saying in regards to them? They're spoiling this shit on purpose, bro. This is what I think is two things. Either they just spoiled she is going to be the fucking killer, or she's going to be a massive red herring. Be at the end of it, she's going to end up being what we wanted Jennifer Jolie to be for Gale if she would have survived. That's what I can see also playing out here if they don't reveal her as the killer. Because something we do have to take into account too, and I've said this in previous live streams, unless she's just an evil old fucking twat, it looks like her son dies in this movie, Asa Germain's character. And if he does actually die, even though I think he could be a fake out, if he does actually die, unless she is just truly, truly evil, I don't see how they make her Ghostface.
Yeah, killing your own kid.
Like,
yeah.
I know Eric shared a theory with me about somebody like saying how that would play out in regards to her killing Lucas. I can get it from a trauma aspect. I'm not going to get too deep into the theory, but it's based around trauma and how his dad may have treated her. I personally wouldn't like that in regards to that being her motive for killing him and then also coming after Sydney or whatever the hell she's planning to do. But I will say, with this shot here, we do see and we get an Easter egg of what Jessica's character is going to be about. Bro, this is the biggest piece of information we have gotten about this character in any of the promotion.
Right.
And she is reading Sidney Prescott's book. So that tells me she may not just be a best friend. She may be a little bit obsessive.
That's what I'm thinking too. Because her even saying best friends by design, like in her mind, she feels like this is fate.
This is meant to be. Right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Bro, so let me ask you this, and then we're going to get back to the chat. Do you think, with what I talked about earlier with Stu's TV spot and them showing him in that TV, and with this post here by Anna Camp that was deleted, do you think they are intentionally spoiling who the killers are in this movie because they just don't give a fuck, because that's what they want for this movie, just like Scream 6 wanted it for their movie, just like Radio Silence and The Writing Room wanted that movie to be that way? Do you feel those same vibes here based on what we've talked about here for the last hour and some change?
I honestly think that I think they are kind of spoiling some stuff with Anna Camp and Stu. I think that they would take one for the team so they can build up to Scream 8, because they're going to have like a bigger surprise with Scream 8. So they're like, okay, well, let's give a damn good movie, but we're going to give a given here, but it's going to lead into a bigger movie of Scream 8. So yeah, I could see them taking one for the team on this one. I'm actually kind of okay with it. At least we're not getting anything in the trailer like we did in 5, where we see Sam stabbing Richie, and it's like, well, it's one or the other.
Right,
so,
exactly.
And stuff like that. Like we're not getting reveals like that.
I was gonna say, didn't they show Amber pointing the gun in the trailer too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
Or they showed her getting caught on fire.
Right.
Oh.
But I feel like they are purposely, like, I know, again, creators don't have nothing to do with the marketing, but I think what we are seeing in the marketing is what we are going to see in the movie. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like what I'm basically saying with this whole idea, Destin, is much like with Scream 6, at least for me anyway. Within the first 15 minutes, I knew who the killers were going to be.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going to do in this fucking movie. I do.
Yeah.
I really, really, really do. I think they are going in that direction. If Scream 6 is Kevin's favorite movie, if you're looking for a murder mystery, good luck. Now, is that to say that Scream 7 is going to have issues with plot holes and stuff like Scream 6? No, because that's why Kevin is brilliant the way he is, because he knows how to fix certain things. And I think he would be able, because there has been some people who are saying, basically, this is going to be a better version of Scream 6. I'm okay with that. I'm not against that. It's not like Scream 6 was completely outright bad. They had some great things in that movie. They just needed to tie up some loose ends. If you can give us something resemblance to Scream 6, especially in regards to tone and with how menacing Ghostface was before the reveal, and then double down on that menacing aspect when they are revealed, we're in good shape.
Right.
You know, so I think they're doing it, man. I think they're doubling down. And as weird as this may sound, and I guess maybe because I'm biased, I'm not upset with it. Fucking right. Let us know. Let them know that Stu Macher is back. I want to know it. I want to know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want to know he's back. That's all. Like, I want to know he's back. If this chick is with him, whether she's Leslie or not, cool. You know what I mean? I don't care. If you're going to reveal the killers or make it easy to predict the killers, just give me a solid, good movie that is intense, has some great kills, has some great dialogue, has some fun moments, but no unnecessary plot holes. If you can give me that type of structure and that type of movie, Scream 7 is going to be a banger.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be a banger for sure, dude. The only thing is, like, if they reveal Stu, which they're already revealing him in some capacity, but they reveal him in this one in the flesh and everything, where does that lead to Scream 8 if they got something bigger on the horizon? I've been thinking about that a lot lately.
Oh man, like I guess in about 10 days we were going to find out, aren't we? That's all we can do. Like, bro,
I want it to end on a phone call. I want it to end on a cliffhanger, somebody getting killed at the very end, and like their fate is left undecided, you know, by the end of it, and we get to figure it out in Scream 8 if they lived or died.
I wouldn't mind that neither, as long as it's a character who matters.
Right.
As
like
long
Gale.
as, yeah, if they're not going to go to Ghostface route, yeah, that could work for sure. Absolutely.
And that'd be crazy if it's Gale.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Because you're going to see Sydney punch her again real good. The last.
Oh, they going to, bro, I'm telling you. I'm riding this Gale theory all the way. Even with all this stuff I'm talking about here between Anna Kemp's character and Stu, I'm not letting go of that Gale fucking theory. I will die on that hill. Based on everything that I've seen, even a fresh clip that Eric sent me yesterday, I'm tripling down, bro. I am tripling down one way or another. I think they might go in that fucking direction for her character. I just have this feeling, man. Especially, I have this feeling, especially if all else fails, that they're going to do that for her with her character. And if they do it right, I'm not against it. Like, again, outside of Stu Macher, for me, when you're talking about the past, it's Sydney and Gale.
Yeah.
So that, to me, and them two showing down to basically put an end to the original storyline and the original characters from that storyline, I'm okay with that. To me, that's a nice, what do you call that, figurative of speech? That's how you wrap it up in a perfect little bow.
What if you get a flashback to the ending of Scream 1996 And Gail like gets Stu to get in her van, like close the door, and drives off with them. Like she's helped him to keep him in hiding.
I mean,
I just want a flashback to 1996, man. That night, I want
think
something.
that would be a stretch because Gail was more worried about reporting the story and getting famous and stuff. But I mean,
but if she was part of it,
I'll put it this way: I think it would if Stu and Gail were to ever work together, I think it would be better explained that in the aftermath of Six's events, after he tried to kill her ass, maybe he revealed himself to her that he is alive. And the reason why he did this is because when he does decide to make his grand return, if all plans go to, according to plan and they kill everybody, which we know isn't going to happen, but in their mind, that's how it's going to work out, then Gail, there's only one person who could truly sensationalize the return of Stu Macher, and that would be Gail Weathers.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. I also think if they were to go in that direction where we're revealing both of them like working together, I think it could also be detrimental to Stu's return because then you're going to be shocked that Stu's back and you're going to be happy, but you're also going to be distracted because you're fucking shocked that Gail's the Ghostface.
Yeah.
Or that she's a part of it. So it's a double-edged sword with that.
Yeah. It's definitely going to piss off a lot of people that are big Gail fans,
Right.
But, did she lose the rights to the movies, to the Stab movies?
She couldn't sell the movie rights the last time around.
So maybe that's her motive of why she wants to burn it all down.
Well, I'm assuming, especially if they explain it at Stu's house, I'm assuming she was able to get 2 new Stab movies done because we see the new Stab posters. So I'm assuming she was able to do that, or she was able to finally sell the rights. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. But Val is saying, I have to say that sure looks like it says for Jill. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can make the argument. It does, like, pull it up again. It does look like it says for Jill. Like, but it also looks like an S too. Like, it's so difficult to tell. Like, I wish we could see the rest of those letters right there. I wish we could make that out. I'm sure we will once we get to the movie. But I agree, Val. I do think, again, I think it could be Sid. I think it could be Stu. I think it could be Jill. But it definitely looks like it could be Jill. Like, it's so crazy.
Yeah, wouldn't that be crazy if that was like the opening kill was Jill? If that was the opening kill, like she gets a videotape, she pops it in. You get like a scene kind of like The Ring or whatever, but it's like it's Stu. Surprise, Jill. I've been tracking you down for a long time. And you spent some time in the loony bin.
I think he would want to use her as an asset.
Yeah, I would too. I don't know how they would play that out, but maybe Jill, she's like, I know I got help and I'm not a killer anymore. And that's Ghostface saying, well, I got to take you out.
If they did that shit with Jill, that I would feel violated because you built that chick up to be like super crazy with how she, played that whole scene out at Kirby's house, and chick literally got fucking shocked with a defibrillator, got up, and still was trying to kill motherfuckers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they were to sit there and do the redemption arc on her with that. I think a lot of people, even people who aren't fans of her character, would be like, yeah, that's just doing too much.
Yeah.
Abracadabro 666. I hope I said that right. Saying definitely not a J. I don't think you can say definitely because it looks like it could be a J. You're just missing a little bit of the other end. But some people, when they make a J, they don't always put the full slant on the top. They shorten it. So
yeah.
I don't think it's definitive enough to say it's not a J. Elizabeth McConkey 81, what's going on? I hope you're having a great night. Saying Jill can grow up to be a dog. Yeah, I mean, if she is alive and they had her ass locked up all these years, I mean, I've said it in previous streams, and I think people are underestimating it. This is the 15-year anniversary of Scream 4. So, if it's not going to be Stu Macher who's going to be revealed, but this has something to do with family, and this is a family drama, it's not impossible to think that Kevin's going to bring Jill Roberts back. He wanted to do that before. So
wouldn't it be? I was thinking this, dude, with all the like under construction and stuff like that going on, and then you got the panic room and them going in between the walls and all that kind of stuff. With Anna Camp's character living next door, wouldn't it be crazy if there was like a hidden tunnel from her house to the other?
Kind of like that movie we watched that a troll put us on to.
Yeah, something like that. Like it was pre-built and Sydney didn't even know it was there. You know, like that. And that's how Ghostface gets in the house.
That could explain how the motherfuckers get in, especially like undetected, if the security wasn't,
right
placed yet. Wow, yeah. That could definitely that would be fucking nuts.
Yeah, that would be cool though. I wouldn't mind that. I'd be like, oh,
because that is a good question. Is how does Ghostface get in that house when she's got that shit securityed up to the gills? She's got a panic room with a camera on it. Like
the only thing I can think of is Tatum leaving her window open one night.
That too, yeah. That too. That could definitely happen. Yeah. But wouldn't the window have to be closed for Sid to arm the house, like the security?
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, yeah, if they make it logical.
Yeah.
We're also talking about a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, but still, especially.
But doesn't it look like he comes out of the attic? Like, how does he get in the attic? And how long has he been up there?
What I'm thinking what happens is maybe, just maybe, during a time where Sydney maybe, especially if they're watching her house, maybe they could have been watching her to the point where they were able to see her security code or whatever. Or if you clone somebody's cell phone and they have that type of information locked in their phone, like, your security stuff for your house and all that stuff. If you have your security system hooked up to your house, they can get that information.
Yeah.
And shit like that. So, but man, that is going to be interesting to see how they're going to explain how Ghostface gets in their house. I'm thrilled for that because obviously, and that's something that I think that's really interesting too. And I don't know if any of you guys noticed this. Sydney's house seems to be like the main location in this movie.
Wait, say that again?
Sydney's house seems to be the main location in this movie.
Yeah, it
when
does.
You think about the attack scene happening there, when you think about the final act looking like it's going to definitely play out there, Sydney's house is basically, in so many words, I guess, the Stu Macher house of this movie.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm really interested to see, like, why is the house the setting that Ghostface is picking?
Yeah, I want to know how long, like, Sydney has lived there too, since she did live in Seattle. And if she's living here now, when did she move in? They have to mention that in the movie, like, oh yeah, we moved in 6 months ago, blah 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 blah. And then,
well,
I want little things like that.
They could also just completely ignore it because when we did find out about Sydney being in Seattle, it was basically considered not canon because it was talked about by radio silence after the fact of Scream 6. So people can make the argument that that's not canon and that they're not even going to mention it.
Yeah.
And shit like that. So It's going to be interesting, man. I'm so excited for this fucking movie. I can't believe we're only 10 days away.
It's going to be here before you know it, dude. I wish I could find like an earlier screening too. Like I was like, man, I just want to I'll drive a couple hours or whatever the case may be.
The reason why I don't want an early screening is, one, I want to still be able to have some conversations about this shit before we get to it. And also because Saturday I'm putting together a party stream for a bunch of us to, if anybody's available, to fucking hang out, do some trivia and just play some games and have a great time, maybe have a couple drinks, and shit like that, and just, bust it up before the movie comes out.
Yep. And I'm going to have a right out of the theater reaction on my channel. I'm going to have a review, full review. Then we're going to have an after party. No spoilers, but an after party of the view. I'm pretty sure me and you will have that. And then Saturday or Sunday, give everybody time to see it over the weekend. Then we're going to do a full deep dive and everything. Talk about all spoilers.
Yeah, I'm thinking what I'm going to do is do an out of theater movie reaction to it, obviously. But then I'm going to probably chill on it for like maybe a week, 2 weeks. Because I'm going to be honest, like, I can talk about it non-spoiler, but I'm going to want to talk about everything and dig into the weeds. So I might just give everybody a few weeks before I really like give like a real review or anything like that.
Yeah.
Joseph the Hard Guy, what's going on? Saying, I hope Scream 7 will be good. I'm hoping so too.
I think it will be. I'm excited to see what Isabel May can do. She is such a good actress.
Yeah, I heard great things about her. I know you've hyped her up.
Yeah. And think about it. I mean, with it being Sydney's daughter, I mean, it's official now. So she could be part of who carries on this franchise,
Right.
At the end of the day. So
hell yeah. And I do want to say this real quick. We have 66 people here in the chat, here closing in on midnight here on the East Coast. You guys are awesome. If you haven't done so already, shoot the like button on this episode of the podcast. It greatly helps out the channel. And when the episode is over, be sure to shoot the hype button as well so this stream can shoot up the leaderboards. It helps with everything in regards to the algorithm. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. Val saying, but it also looks like it could say for Sid. Yeah, I think you can go many different ways with that tape. It's very hard to tell what those last three letters, what exactly the name is.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Pisces gal saying it looks like Jill. A troll saying Jill for me. Joseph saying it's Jill for me. Elizabeth saying Jill. Everybody's thinking it's fucking Gil. I mean, Jill. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. See, fucking saying it so many times in succession like that fucked me up.
It's all good.
But it looks like the majority of the chat believes that that tape says for Jill. So,
yep. Think so.
If we get that, if that turns out to be true, then that kind of flips everything on its head, if you ask me.
Yeah, and that means Bearded's wrong if he's in the chat.
DJ saying it looks like a number 5 or a SU. Yeah, it's very hard to tell. Joseph saying I've not seen this trailer yet. Which trailer are you talking about? The one with Stu Macher's face in it? Let me know, Joseph. I know I'm super behind in the chat. I'm just trying to give everybody a shine as best as I can before I scroll back up in the chat and catch up. Bluck is saying Chat GPT and Grok thinks it says 4-6. That's funny. That's fucking hilarious. It says Chat GPT and Grok thinks it says for sex.
Wow. Hey, you never know.
Yo, what's going on, Dr. Evil 3326? Dr. Evil saying, don't they confirm Jill dead in Scream 6? I mean, to a degree, if you want to say that, but at the same time, that was a murder board created by Kirby Reed. And I think you can make the argument that maybe Kirby could have left out some information on that murder board because she might have not trusted Bailey. So that's what I think about that. I think you can make the argument in regards to that. And also, keep in mind, too, this is supposed to be like a reboot, you know? So expect to see some things retcon possibly. So if they were to bring Jill back, maybe expect that little moment in Scream 6 to kind of be retconned, like in this movie. It definitely could happen. Abraka DeBro says, it says for Stu, you can zoom in on your phone or whatnot. I have it pulled up here on the desktop, and I think it's still pretty difficult to tell whether it says for Stu or not. Like I can pull it up again. Like I think it's clear enough and large enough to see that even right here where I have the mouse, you can't make out the rest of those letters. You can't.
Right.
So in my opinion, you can't definitively say it says for Stu. And if you're saying Stu is spelled the way you're spelling it here, you definitely can't make that out because that doesn't look like it says STEW. And if it was for Stu, it would say STU. So I don't think you can definitively make that out. That's just my opinion, though.
It's going to be very interesting. Do you think that we're going to get like several different surprises throughout the entire movie, or it's just going to be a one big surprise on the reveal?
I think we're going to get some surprises. I think we're going to get a few of them. I'm not ruling out the idea that we could see some of this friend group actually be revealed as part of the cult. I'm not ruling it out at all.
Yeah.
Kevin wanted to do that before. It seems like in this movie, he's going to be doing some things that he wanted to do in the past. So that concept wouldn't be a surprise to me, especially when you consider the drama club and all that performance arts aspect of it. There could definitely be some trickery going on with that shit.
It does seem like we are going to get like a chase scene in the theater, like for the Fairy Princess or whatever. But I also like with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre playing in town, I want to see the kids go see a movie and maybe there's a chase scene at the movie theater too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I want to see stuff like that. Like it'd be different set pieces like that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. I like the fact that we're actually going to get a scene while the play or while the audition to the play is going on.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. I think that has a potential, depending on who's all going to be there. There's going to be multiple deaths in that scene.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like I would like to see like just some like non-important characters like security guards or principal or whoever kind of get killed in the mix as well.
Yeah, I think
maybe some of the police officers.
That Timmy Simons or wherever his real name is, the one that everybody keeps talking about, like that they think he could be a secret Ghostface. I think he's going to be a Hembry.
Okay.
I think he's going to end up getting killed off. I don't think he's going to be really important at all.
Why the hell is he on the poster?
I mean, who knows? I mean, let's really be honest. Liv McKenzie, if I'm not mistaken, was in Scream 5's poster, wasn't she? And she barely was anybody.
That's true.
So that's just this new age.
But she was part of the friend group though, too. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just feel like they're throwing everything on there.
Right. No, they definitely are. They have everybody on that fucking poster. And to answer your question from a while ago, Spicy Oreo, if you're still here, saying, wait, which trailer is that shot from? If you're talking about the tape that looks like it says for Stu or for Jill or for Sid, if you're talking about that, that was an image that was circulating around online. Yo, what's up, Treston? I hope you're having a great night. And I'm pretty sure Dr. Eva already probably answered your question or somebody else did, but no, Jill did not get shot in the head. She got shot in the heart.
Yeah, or in the chest.
Right. At Pusifier 85 saying for Steve, more of a confession of motive. What do you mean by that? Let me know in the comment section if you're still here. What do you mean by that, buddy? I don't follow. Yeah, Kevin has come out and stated that he's going to be doing Scream 8. He has stated that. Now, also keep in mind, things might change depending on the success of Scream 7. So, if this movie doesn't do what is expected or maybe falls within the line of, underperforming for some odd reason, they might put a hold on it. Brisk with the bar saying, how would there be a VHS for Jill? No, weren't VHS long gone by the time she grew up? No, not necessarily, Brisk with the bars. There's still plenty of places like old school thrift shops, like old school people who keep antiques and stuff from like the 70s, 80s, and 90s that might have a few. Hell, even some like rent places or whatever can get you a VCR. Even if they don't have it in stock, they can get it ordered for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of like retro places and stuff like that that still sell them. I've actually wanted like one of those. I wanted to go back and buy one of those dual ones, like a VHS with the DVD player also attached. Like, I want one of those again. I wish I never got rid of mine. Oliver still uses VHS, he says.
I best have a VHS though. I best being able to watch movies and then you watch them so much they break.
I feel like that's when movies were in their prime, man, the VHS era.
It was. And you barely got anything. Like you just got the little summary of what the plot is on the back. You got like an image of the characters or a scene or whatever, and then the closed captioning on the box, and then that was it.
Yeah.
All right, I am going to scroll up here in the chat, you guys, because I know I'm like super behind. If I did miss any of your comments, I apologize. I'm just super behind, and I don't want to keep any of you guys waiting on your comments for too long because I'm about like 40 minutes behind in the chat. Hold on real quick. I just saw something. Destin, was that you? Oh, okay. I see it. All right. It looked like it was a different icon. I thought somebody was impersonating you.
Oh, wait, what?
No, at first it looked like a different icon by your name, but it's you.
Oh, okay.
In the chat. I thought it was somebody else fucking around. Yo, what's up, Oliver? Oliver saying good morning, everyone. Good morning to you as well. Hope you're having a great night. Well, great morning, I should say, because we are about to be in the morning. Yo, what's going on? At Femi, what's going on? How you doing tonight? I hope you're having a great night. Saying it's going to be interesting watching Scream 7 in D-box seats. I'm excited as fuck. Hell yeah, that's awesome. I kind of want to go see it in IMAX.
Yeah, I'm going to see it in Dolby first,
Nice.
and then I'm going to go see it in IMAX.
Hell yeah.
D-box will be fun too. AMC just doesn't have D-box. I think that's, what is that, Cinemark? That has D-box where the seats move.
I don't know. I'll be honest, like I have a Regal here. A Regal and an RC. That's the only theaters I've ever known.
Is Regal, is it do they have D-box?
What, like, what do you mean by
Seats
that?
moving?
Oh, yeah, they have that shit. Yeah, they got the massagers.
Oh, okay. Because I know theaters kind of like have that, have certain, like, features like that patent. Like, we have a
Right.
theater here where the side of the walls, like, your left and your right, is like part of the movie, so it feels like you're like VR in the movie. I haven't went to that theater yet, but we do have one here in town. And I was like, that'd be cool.
Hell yeah. I want a drive-through theater.
We also have one of those Cosms or whatever that's kind of like the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I want to go to one of those.
Dude, yeah, we got one here. It's like 13 minutes from my place. Dude, when you come and visit, dude, I'll take you to that whole area and show you Grandscape.
I want to go to one of those and watch a wrestling event.
Yeah, watching sporting events and stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah. Or a UFC fight.
Yeah.
Bro, that shit would be sick.
Yeah.
Elizabeth McConkey 81 saying, I was a teenager when Scream 1 came out in the theaters in the 90s. Yeah, I was a little guy. I was about 6 years old.
I was 10 and I snuck in. I didn't know I was going to rhyme, but yeah.
I didn't watch Scream until it hit VHS. And I never forget the VHS box that it came in. It was one, because you know how they had one of those like kind of like cardboard boxes, but then you had the cassette ones.
Yeah.
And shit, we had the cassette ones, and that bad boy was fucking nice or whatever. And I never forget my mom buying it or whatever and stuff, and just seeing the cover of it, with Casey Becker on it, with Drew Barrymore with her mouth covered and stuff like that. It was just always like a image that really like caught my eye as a kid, and my mom let me watch it, and the rest is history. I fell in love with this franchise. I always loved how they incorporated the phone calls, because it's like a prank caller calling you. I've always loved that. What's up, Nightmare Files? Saying there's a lot of theories out there. Yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, they're putting a lot of stuff out there to give us a lot of these theories. So definitely a lot out there, and definitely a lot of different perspectives for sure. And we do have a super chat in the house. A $10 super chat from Pisces Girl. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat. That's greatly appreciative of you. And I greatly appreciate, and that's very, very sweet of you. You didn't have to do that. We just kind of chilling tonight, kicking back, enjoying the 7th episode of the podcast, talking some Scream 7. But for your $10 super chat, you go on to say, how in the world could Stu survive the heavy bleeding after Billy stabbing him multiple times, plus having a large, heavy tubbed television falling hard on his head, screen break, and electrocute him? Well, here's the thing, Pisces Girl. I'm going to give you my opinion on that, and then Deskin can do the same. But before I give you my opinion on your question, I will also tell you maybe you should go take a look at my good buddy Steven, the late great Craven Something Scary. Take a look on his channel. He did a event that is called The People versus Stu Macher, where they all literally did a tremendous informative deep dive into all the ways and scenarios that Stu Macher could have survived his death. Now, for me to answer your question in regards to the TV falling hard on his head, it is a proven fact and study that the TV that fell on Stu's head wasn't even a pound. It was a very, very light television. It was not a heavy television at all. Those old school TVs back in the days, some of them may have looked like they had weight to them, but they didn't have no weight to them at all. Now, Stu surviving the heavy bleeding. Was he losing a little bit of blood? Sure. We just seen Chad stabbed over 30 times in the last 2 movies. Stu Macher was stabbed, a total of 3 to 4 times by Billy in the torso. But in my opinion, it wasn't in spots that really could kill him. Yes, is he going to lose a lot of blood? because he's getting stabbed. Yes, but it wasn't enough to kill him, in my opinion, in regards to the stabbing wounds. Now, with the screen from the TV breaking and electrocuting him, keep in mind that he did get his hands up to brace the impact. And also, when you go back to that shot of the TV electrocuting Stu, when it's done electrocuting him, he is still breathing. It's very, very brief. It's very brief. You would have to really frame it down to catch it. But in the aftermath of the electrocution going off on his face, he is still breathing. So, in my opinion, how Stu could survive is obviously he survived his injuries. And what I think is that Roman Bridger was there the night of the original murders. And I think Roman may have been the one to help Stu escape, save him, bring him to pasture, so to speak, and along the way, kept Stu in hiding and molded him into the mastermind that we are going to see show up in Scream 7 or possibly in Scream 8. That's what I think in regards to how Stu could survive. And also, I will point this out too. Keep in mind that Kevin Williamson's original concept for Scream 3 obviously was to bring Stu Macher back alive, have him be in prison, running a Ghostface cult from prison. Now, the question I want you to ask yourself, Pisces gal, is if Stu Macher didn't have a chance to survive his injuries, why did Kevin Williamson himself believe that he could have enough to have a concept to bring the character back and reveal that he was alive and that he was in prison? So that tells me right there, with Kevin Williamson even having this idea to bring Stu back in the first place, that tells me that Kevin Williamson himself believes that Stu could have survived his injuries, that the injuries that Stu sustained were not life-threatening. So that's my answer to your $10 super chat, Pisces girl. Destin, what do you want to throw in on this? I think you're muted.
I was muted.
You're good.
Yeah, I think that there were heavy TVs back then, that like the antique, like the one with like the wooden frames and everything.
Yes,
those were the heavy ones. The one that landed on his head was kind of plasticky. There's a lot of hollow back in those, and it didn't fall from like very high up. You know what I mean?
Right.
It looks good on camera, cinematically. It looks like a really cool kill, but even if you're electrocuted, surviving that's easy. We've seen worse people survive worse things in this franchise. So it didn't, when you say falling hard on his face, it didn't really fall hard on his face. She pushed it off. He had his hands up like this.
Yep.
And he was screaming and it landed on him, you know. I think the glass broke. I think that might be the image that we see, his eye all messed up and a little bit of scarring underneath it. And him getting electrocuted a little bit. But I mean, Dewey got electrocuted in Scream 3, putting the damn thing in the light socket. He's like, watch out.
Yeah, stand back.
And like shorts it out.
Who was it? Stand back. Boom.
Yeah, stand back. And like you said, Chad's been stabbed, Dewey's been stabbed. I mean, it's really, you know, it ain't dead until it's officially dead. And he was the original idea to come back for Scream 3. And I think that Kevin Williamson's finally getting to do a lot of the things that he always wanted to do, you know.
I agree. And this is also another thing, Pisces gal. What has been the golden rule in the Scream franchise in regards to the killers? What does Sidney, for the most part, always say? You have to shoot him in the head. Mm-hmm. You have to shoot him in the head. Stu Macher was never shot in the head.
Yeah.
So, again, thank you, though, for your $10 super chat, Pisces girl. And great question. It's a great question to ask. because there are many people who don't believe that Stu really could have survived those injuries. And I don't blame you for thinking that way because you're thinking logically. There's no problem with thinking logically. What I will also tell you, though, when thinking logically, sometimes things in life that we think are the logical explanation isn't the logical explanation. There have been people, much to our surprise, especially if you look into it and do information on it, there has been people in real life who have survived way, way worse, more injury than what Stu did in that movie. And they're still alive and well and still thriving. So anything is possible, especially in regards to the movie universe.
Yeah. We were talking about...
No, go ahead, Dustin. What were you saying?
No. Go ahead.
I was just saying, thank you again, Pisces Gal, for your $10 super chat. It's greatly appreciated. And thank you for hanging out here with us and talking some Scream 7. Now, what was you going to say, Destin?
No, I was going to say us talking about the VHSs and everything that I wish I didn't get rid of and everything. Y'all made me kind of like want to pull out like my stack. I just kind of wanted to show like some of the little collection that I have as far as like Scream.
Yeah, right go here. For it,
man. But like I got this, if you can see it, it's got Skeet Ulrich signed on it and Jamie Kennedy.
Hell yeah.
And it's the steelbook to the original movie. I also have one that's not even open, so I bought 2 copies. And then I got Scream 2, never opened, steelbook. Scream 3, I don't know why they went with the red. It didn't kind of like stick with the rest of the colors. They don't have Scream 4 out yet, and they said that was supposed to get released alongside this movie, but I have not seen that release because I do want to get that steelbook. But then I got Scream 5, and I've just chosen. I'm not going to open these this time. Like I even got Scream 6, where he's like in the subway.
Hell yeah. See, that's what I love about like cassettes and those DVDs and stuff. Just like the little back end stuff, you get to see a scene and just a little summary.
Yeah, like something about holding it, right?
Yeah.
I even bought like the original trilogy box set. So I've never opened this either, and it's got like a documentary or whatever in it. But I'm like, I'm just gonna keep it sealed. And then I found this one at one of those stores that we were talking about because I used to have this one. It doesn't have the slide cover on it, but it's still in good condition. And I'm just keeping the wrapper on it. But this is old DVD of like Scream. That's how the DVDs look with like the Dimension logos and stuff. Like,
hell yeah.
So
I remember, I think it was the one of the movies that came after Scream. I want to say after Scream 3. I want to even say Valentine, maybe. Like the trailers leading into that movie.
Yeah.
And they were promoting a Scream 3 like mega box set or whatever. And I don't think it ever happened. I would have to get the box set to see if I'm proven wrong. But the way they were advertising it was that there was a different killer revealed.
On what? On My Bloody Valentine?
No, it was basically the previews leading into the Valentine movie when I used to own it.
Oh, Valentine.
And it would be the Scream 3 mega box set, like steelbook type shit, whatever, with all a bunch of extra scenes, a whole bunch of extra features. And it also gave off the hint and illusion that there was going to be a different killer revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And shit. And I always found that fascinating, but I never really like looked into it and stuff. And I don't think that's impossible to think that they actually did have something like that because remember, we got that assembly cut of Scream 3, a couple years ago now?
Yeah.
And we've seen a whole bunch of shit that we didn't see obviously in the movie. But one thing, an example is in Cotton's highway scene, you see 2 cars pull out when he's going to go try to save his girlfriend. that shows right there's 2 Ghostface killers in that movie.
Yeah.
And stuff. And then, of course, we see the whole shrine with Roman and how he digitally did the voices, which I wish they would have kept in the movie. That was fucking cool.
Yeah.
But a lot of those box sets and stuff, I love them because they have so much extra features and stuff that you're not going to get on a regular DVD.
Right. And also, man, dude, I used to have all the Star Wars. I used to have everything. I would collect them all. And I even had the VHSs of all the Scream stuff. And I was just like, if I can ever find those again, I'm going to get them. But as far as all this new stuff that comes out, the way physical media is kind of like dwindling down, I'm like, I'm just not even going to open it. I'm just going to keep it the way it is. I mean, I already got the movies digitally. I got them on like every platform. So why open the physical media?
Right. No, I don't blame you. Especially like it's always cool to just kind of keep them as souvenir, as display. Brisk with the bar saying Jill had her brain fried and was shot in the heart, but she can survive and Stu can't survive a little TV. I think Jill can survive. I mean, if they're not shot in the head, and I know some people will say, well, what about Mickey then? I'm not saying he couldn't even come back, even though I do think it's more of a stretch for him because they pumped that motherfucker with tons of lead. Like, that motherfucker had like 8 to 10 bullets rounded in him. So I just don't think, granted, he wasn't shot in the head, so it's not entirely impossible, but I just don't think, especially in regards to the character of Mickey, as much as fans like him, he was an afterthought when you think about Mrs. Loomis.
Yeah.
So
I don't think along for the ride.
Right. I don't think they would have any intention to ever bring that character back unless they're going to bring every killer back as like a flashback or AI thing in this movie. But I agree, those who say Stu couldn't survive, but if they believe Jill could have, I mean, if you can believe Jill survived her injuries, then I think you should be able to believe that Stu survived his. Paula saying WA tag, I want to say tag the whole trial Marcus on Craven's channel. What do you mean by that, Paula? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section again, because I'm not following. Southern Bella Reviews 5920. What's going on? Hope you're having a great night. Thank you for being here. Saying Matthew Lillard was signed on to come back in the third film and have his own cult, but they scrapped it because of the Columbine shooting. Yep, that's very, very true and unfortunate. It's unfortunate that didn't get to, play out to fruition and that tragedy happened. But damn near 26 years later, it looks like we are getting something similar to what Kevin wanted to do with Stu before. So we'll see what he has in store for us with the character this time around. Pussafire 85 saying, then Stu would have been a fugitive and known to be alive if he was helped by, say, like Roman. His death would have been covered up when the body got moved from the house. And I did a video about this a while ago. You guys can go check it out on the channel and stuff. I did a extensive breakdown into explaining how Stu could have gotten away with faking his death. And if you guys recall, the two students who Hembry lectured in his office, the ones who look like Billy and Stu, they were both at Stu Macher's party. But the one who looked like Billy left, not the one who looked like Stu Macher. He never left the house. And there's even a shot, if you look closely, when all those guys are leaving the house to go pull Principal Hembry down from the goalpost. If you look closely in Stu Macher's window, you can see somebody walking towards the back of the kitchen. And if you zoom in close enough, it looks like it's that kid who favors Stu Macher. Now, what makes this even more interesting is when Kenny sees these guys going to their car to leave to go get Hembry down off the goalpost. If you look closely on the monitors in Gale's van, when Kenny is slowly closing the door so they don't see him, if you look at the monitors, you see Randy was sitting on the couch, but then he hops up and he starts looking towards where the kitchen is as if he heard something. So my theory is this, is that the young man who looks like Stu Macher in Principal Hembry's office, the one who's like, come on, Principal Hembry, it was just a joke. I think.
And it's not fair.
It's not fair. But I think that kid who favors Stu Macher has the same type of Abercrombie look and everything. I think that kid never left the house, and I think he was killed off. Let's say by Billy. Where was Billy at that time? Billy was upstairs with Sydney. So this is where I think Roman comes into play, because I always felt there were 3 killers in that house. I do. This scene where Billy and Stu do the fake out on Billy, and Sydney runs out of Stu's parents' room. She locks Stu in the room. Now, granted, there is another door there that leads to the back hallway where we see Ghostface meet her by the stairs. The issue I have with that is if you look how the house is structured, he would have to run all the way around, then cut out to get to the staircase. Stu Macher is a tall guy. He's got tall legs. I'm pretty sure he can stride pretty good. Motherfucker is not making it to that spot in 3 seconds. He's not. And if you go back in the original movie and look at that scene when Ghostface meets Sydney at the stairs, when you look in that back room, there is a table with a desk. Well, no, there's like a table desk there that has a chair. And the chair was pulled out as if somebody was sitting on it. So, and I also will say, I think that back room is where they would basically change in and out of costume. Because when Sydney locks Randy and Stu out of the house, and she's like, just leave me alone, just like go away. And Billy stumbles out of that back room.
Yeah.
Which also tells you that Stu had to have unlocked the door from his parents' room, or somebody did, to get him out, because Sydney locked that door. So I think you can make the argument that Roman Bridger was there the night of the original murders, and that you can make the argument maybe he killed that kid off or whatever, or maybe Billy or Stu killed that kid off, because that's the thing. That's when Stu went MIA from the party.
Yeah.
During that whole scene. So it's definitely possible Stu could have seen that kid who looks like him, because remember, we never got their names.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, homie, come back here or whatever. Oh, yeah, Stu, what's going on, bro? You need help with something? Yock him. Takes his ass out. So now if shit goes haywire, because, see, people don't think that Stu is a mastermind, when he was the one who came up with the idea for Neil's whole motive anyway. So it's not impossible to think that if Stu felt like Billy was going to betray him, why wouldn't he plan for it in advance? Kill somebody who looks just like him.
Yeah.
So then in the aftermath, if he does have to fake his death, because the whole thing between Billy and Stu was that they were faking their injuries anyway, just to look like victims. So therefore, if he wanted to fake his death, if he felt like Billy was going to fuck him over, he could have used that kid as a pawn to fake his death and plant that body there. And for those who say, well, what happens when the body shows up at the morgue? Well, the parents would get called in, Stu's parents. That's not him. But you don't say anything, and we'll pay you to cover it up because they have money and stuff. There's a reason. I always will believe there's a reason that Stu said on the phone to Sydney, my mom and dad are going to be so mad at me. Because they are important people. They have a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we've talked about it so many times now over the years. It's crazy to think that it's been 4 years basically since we have all been really like hammering away with the Stu Macher is alive theory. And now it seems like we are finally getting something of that nature. And I think if you are going to reveal it, and if you are going to do a backstory, Roman is the perfect person to be the one to help Stu escape, help him fake his death, teach him how to be a mastermind fully.
Yeah.
And then this is where we are at today. I would love for them to reveal that Stu was Roman's undercover accomplice in Scream 3. I think that would be so badass.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
Hell yeah. Pisces gal saying hell yeah and fair enough. Thank you so much. No, thank you, Pisces girl. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you for being here and hanging out in the chat and just expressing your opinion. Again, that is a great question, and it's a valid question that you had.
Do you think we're going to get a kitchen fight scene between Sydney and the killer in this one? Like we had in 5, like we did in the original. Like there's maybe like a little scuffle.
House.
Yeah.
Maybe. It depends exactly on where exactly they have Tatum in the house. Because
it makes it look like it's like maybe a basement.
It might be the attic, bro.
Dang, I didn't even think about that.
It might be the attic. That's where they have plastic up there too. We know that's where Mark was.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie. I'll have to pull up the shot again. I think there's like a door behind them. I'll have to pull up the shot then. Because I do think there is a door that is behind Ghostface, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Oh, and go back to this one. Hold on. Dr. Evil saying, so are Mickey and Richie still alive? Well, I think Richie is, even though he didn't get shot in the head, homie got stabbed how many times, and then he got stabbed through the face. So,
yeah,
I think that's
his throat slit.
Yeah, and his throat slit. Yep. So I think that's just as good as a headshot. And in regards to Mickey, if you want to make the argument, sure, because he wasn't shot in the head, but I'd have to go back and count how many times he was shot in that movie because I just don't see it happening.
He dead. They're both dead, but they could come back as a cameo for either a nightmare of Sydney's or a AI.
Yeah, they definitely could, especially in that type of fashion. But in regards to actually them being alive, nah. Even though they didn't get shot in the head, their deaths for not getting shot in the head is pretty damn definitive, if you ask me. Some will argue, well, so is Stu's, but I don't believe so. And neither did Kevin Williamson, because he obviously had the idea to bring him back to begin with. Dr. Evil saying Jill might be able to survive because she at least is still in the hospital. Maybe, yeah, that's very true. They could have revived her. It's not impossible at all that Jill could have survived her injuries. Again, we did see her take a defibrillator to the head, get back up, point the gun, and was ready to, or pick up a sharp object, I think it was a piece of glass or whatever it was, and was still trying to kill people. So she could definitely still be alive. Oliver saying that's cool. I have a Matthew Lillard signed poster. That's awesome, Oliver. Yeah, I'm going to be going to see Matthew and the entire Scream cast that's going to be there, and from Scream 4, Scream 5's cast, I think some of them are going to be there. I know some of the Scream 7 cast is going to be there. Matthew, I'm going to be going to a he's having an event. It's a live Q&A session and a screening where we watch Scream 7 with him. Super excited for that. And I'm not going to be alone on this trip neither. It's going to be a great time. Femi saying the Steelbooks are awesome. Yeah, they definitely are. And Scream always makes good like Steelbooks and stuff for their DVDs and stuff like that. They've always had like sweet designs for their shit. Yo, what's up? What's up, Will and Urs? I hope you're having a great night. Thank you for being here. Saying I'm definitely getting the Regal Scream popcorn bucket. Yeah, while I'm there, I'm going to get it too. I definitely am going to get it. I hope they have it here at my Regal because sometimes they don't be having shit. Oliver saying I've been looking for a box set for Scream 7. I mean, for Scream. Yeah, I think the original ones are pretty hard to find, maybe. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure they probably would be because, you know, of how old the original one was. Or are you talking about just like the franchise in general, like all of them?
This is the original DVD box set. So I think there was a VHS one too. Maybe not. Maybe there wasn't a VHS.
Femi saying, so glad to be around Scream fans. Most people I know aren't into horror movies. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I love doing this channel. That's why I love doing this content, you know, because I, you know, go through the same thing to a degree. Like a lot of my family likes horror movies, but they don't delve into it the way that I do and stuff like that. So it's definitely refreshing and nice to have a community to talk about this stuff with because it's a lot of fun. Wallen saying the marketing for this film has been odd, but I'm still hyped and buying mad tickets. Absolutely. Yeah, again, like I said earlier in the episode, I think they are purposely letting us know what's going to happen in this movie. It is odd. Usually I would not like that. But for this particular moment in time with this particular movie, I'm not against it. So I agree with you. The marketing has been odd, but just like you, I am very hyped for this movie. Femi saying Mickey got shot 6 times. Is that accurate or are you just messing around, Femi? Let me know. Because I could have sworn it was way more times than that. But maybe I was wrong. Was Mickey shot in the head, Oliver? I don't think he was. I think he was shot. He was shot mostly in the torso. It was Mrs. Loomis who was shot in the head.
Yeah, I think so too. He might be mistaken because like they do a close up of like Mickey's face and there's like blood dripping down.
Blood dripping, yeah.
Yeah, because I almost think that too.
That's right. Brisk with the bars. Billy's mother. That's right. Still one of the greatest lines, whether it's a reveal or not in Scream history. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm caught up. All right, there we go. Paul is saying, got that box set already? Nice. Hell yeah. Oliver's talking about the original trilogy. Yeah, it might be difficult to find. I'm not sure, though. Femi's saying when Gail found him in the basement, someone helped him make him look dead in Scream 3 before the reveal. That is a really, really good point, Femi. That is a really good point. Destin, what do you think about that, man? What do you think about Femi pointing out the fact that Roman had to have had help to make him look dead in that scene in the coffin in Scream 3? Destin might have took a step out.
Yeah, I know. I'm here.
Okay.
When Gail found him in the basement, someone helped him to make him look dead in Scream 3 before the reveal. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And I was, you know, it seemed like, you know, Jennifer Jolie was like, is he dead? And she was like, yeah. but like I know that like, she checked his pulse or whatever. I know that there's like a thing to where like it goes back to the whole thing with I know what you did last summer whenever Ray was checking Ben Willis's pulse on the road that night. When your heart rate is up, I think that you can't really detect a heartbeat, whenever you're checking for a pulse in someone's wrist. I could be wrong about that. Is there any like medical professionals in the chat that could that could co-sign that? But but I still think that like Jennifer Jolie, I mean, like it seemed like that would have been the thing. Like Jennifer Jolie did seem suspicious right there. But I think that what really probably could happen was like Angelina coming, met him down there and did all that. And then Jennifer Jolie discovered his body and Gail as well.
Yeah, man, that's interesting. I'm gonna say Stu. I would say Stu helped him.
That would be cool too. Yeah, that'd be ideal.
I just feel like there are so many Easter eggs in Scream 3 that get overlooked. And I could easily see, I mean, especially if we think Roman helped him fake his death and stage his death, why wouldn't Stu return the favor, So, man, there's stuff like that I hope we do get a little, reveal of in this movie. Spicy Oreo saying it's like 9-10 times that Mickey gets shot. Yeah, that's what I thought. He got lit up. Yeah, Femi saying I was messing around. That's your name of your channel. My weird way of saying he got blasted. Yeah, no, I kind of figured it was, but I wasn't sure if I was just inaccurate with how many times he actually did get shot. Yeah, Spicy Oreo saying I just watched it and Mickey wasn't shot in the head. Had to go look. Yeah, it's just that scene where he's slowly creeping down. The fucking whatever, the piece of the set that's a part of the theater, and you get that close-up of his head and it's dripping blood and you can see his like eyeball moving and stuff like that. So that could easily be mistaken for a gunshot wound, especially because he already had a scar there from the car crash. Wellen says, plus we get a Scary Movie 6 trailer attached to Scream 7. Oh, that's interesting. Is that accurate?
I heard that too.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Paul is saying, I meant that I watched the trial on his channel. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Guys, if you are having a hard time believing that Stu Macher could return in Scream 7, go to our good friend Craven Something Scary's channel. Val, if you haven't done so already, if you don't mind, if you can share that link to the People versus Stu Macher live stream that Steven did a couple years ago, that would be greatly appreciated, because those who never got to watch that need to be informed, because that was a fantastic exploration into the theory and the idea that Stu Macher could come back into the Scream franchise alive. And speaking of Val saying Gail helped him. She was the one who checked his pulse and said he was dead. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I kind of would like to see what Destin was talking about, if there's like any real medical profession like that confirms like when you are having a high heart rate, you can't really tell if somebody's dead or alive if you check their pulse, because your heart rate is going up and moving at a mile a minute. If you're saying she helped him in like regards to lying about him being dead, maybe. I have an idea in regards to how Gail could have been involved with Roman. And I don't like despise the idea that I have. I'm going to most likely do a video about it. But I do think if they were to go with the idea that I have, that it might convolute things a little bit, if I want to say that correctly. So maybe I'll make the video and I'll let you guys be the judge in regards to how convoluted the theory that I have sounds. But yeah, maybe, maybe Gail did help him, help Roman in that regard. I personally think maybe it was Stu, but hey, you never know. For me, I mean, I want to say Gail may have been involved all the way back to the original murders, and I don't think it's completely impossible. I just feel like if they're going to do that, they're going to have to really explain and go back and add a lot of context into how this is all now coming full circle. And it's not to say they can't do it. I just don't want something that's too convoluted or too stuffy to where it's like, I can believe it, but that's just a little too much to get to that point. I'm sure you get what I mean by that, Val. But hey, I mean, if we get it revealed that Gail is involved, like we think it is, especially I think it is too, like she could be, they could do something like that. Maybe reveal that she had some type of involvement with Roman. It's possible, especially if you're going to go with a industry plant type of theory like I have. Mr. Do, hold on, we're just going to do this. Mr. Do, WW5CY, thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate you. And I'm all but certain you are a new viewer of the channel. And if you are, I greatly appreciate you for subscribing to this channel and enjoying the content enough to do so. Mr. Do saying, Stu is alive, deal with it. I'm on the same boat as you, my friend. I agree. Val saying you cannot fake not having a pulse. Even if you hold your breath, your heart is still beating. If I'm not mistaken, there is a way you can stop your pulse. I think I've heard people, even medical professionals, talk about that. I can even look that up real quick. Because now, I mean, why not? It's interesting.
I wasn't really saying that their pulse stopped. I just think that they can't detect it with their heart rate up. The person that's checking for a pulse, can't detect it because their heart rate is up. Do the Romeo and Juliet thing.
Okay, so basically from what it's just the information is showing is simple but specific actions such as coughing, bearing down as if passing stool, or putting an ice pack on the face can help slow down the heart rate. Your healthcare team may ask you to do specific actions during an episode of Fast Heartbeat. Okay, but that doesn't say pulse. I'm looking for pulse. Well, I guess it's a part of that. So, I mean, from what I'm seeing, I mean, there is ways you can do it. You would just have to do certain things.
Plus, didn't she get disrupted trying to check his pulse with the coffin closing on her?
No, she did check his pulse.
Okay.
No, she did check it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Oreo, calm down. Maybe there's I mean, I know in Saw anyway that John Kramer, because he had the medical access to do so, he actually used some type of high muscle relaxer that slowed his heart rate and his pulse to make him seem he was dead in the bathroom. So, I mean, it's not impossible to think that maybe Roman may have had access to something similar. That's how he was able to slow down his heart rate and his pulse. I mean, for a mastermind, I don't think it's impossible to think that he came up with that idea. I don't know. I mean, there are
April
ways you can
said
do it. Wait, what was that?
I said April said there are drugs that can slow your heart rate down to where it's undetectable.
That's what I figured. Yeah. So there are drugs out there, and being that Roman obviously was rich and had resources, especially when planning, I think this probably would be the route that he may have took. But we don't see that. So then you can make the argument that maybe Gail was, lying and saying that his pulse wasn't, she didn't feel his pulse when she did. And I don't know. I don't know. Dr. Evil saying, what if Stu died, but only for a little bit and ended up brain damaged? Uh, I'm not saying it's not impossible, but I don't think. I personally will say this again. I don't think Kevin Williamson would want to bring the character back alive if he felt those injuries would do anything to alter the character and what we know him to be. Like, if he ended up with brain damage, then there would be no reason to bring Stu Macher back. Stu Macher, if he had brain damage, I don't think would be able to lead a cult of Ghostface killers or be a mastermind. So, yeah, I don't. I mean, maybe if you want to say he died for a couple minutes, yeah, sure, I can buy that because the same thing happened with Kirby. But if we're saying he's ending up, he ended up with brain damage, then if he's alive but he's brain damaged, what's the point in bringing him back? Because he's not going to be able to be coherent. So, yeah, for me, Dr. Evil, I'm not on board with that. Oliver's saying I'm not a medical professional, but I do know if you have 4 Monster Energy drinks in 2 hours, you feel like you're on some white rabbit. LOL. That's funny.
I like Monster Energy drinks.
DJ Plays Favorite saying you guys should have a theory betting board, kind of like a Scream draft. I might do something like that for them Kalshi bets. That's not a bad idea. Because I'm waiting to see. I've looked it up. All they have right now is the Rotten Tomatoes score as, part of the betting line that you can bet on. So I'm wondering if the week of the movie is when they're going to open up the betting lines to bet on who's going to live and who's going to die and who's going to be Ghostface, because that's what I want. That's the picks I want to pick from. But that's a great idea, DJ. I'm not against that at all. Mr. Dew saying, I just watched Scream 2 today. Mickey was not shot in the head. Yeah, he wasn't. There's just that mistake where the blood dripping down from his head. I am going to wrap this stream up in about 6.5 minutes, guys, because we are getting really late here, and I know Destin has to go to work in the morning, and so do I, unfortunately. But this was definitely a lot of fun, a great conversation. I am going to read off the rest of the comments here in the comment section, and then we're going to get things winded down. But Destin, before we head out here for the night, is there anything that you have coming up on your channel that you want to plug in and let everybody know about?
Yeah, man. I got Wednesday night. I have a Scream 4 debate. Me and Eric over at the Bearded Entertainment are going to go head to head debating the pros and cons of Scream 4, because I know that's the great debate, especially between me and him. And I know, Marcus, you love Scream 4 as well. I love Scream 4. I like Scream 4. I have my thoughts on it. So we're really going to dive deep into it because we've argued about this, debated it over years, and that's going to be the time for everyone in the chat to get involved and just hammer it in. And I want the chat to be involved on voting. Is Scream 4 the best sequel or the worst sequel? So that's what I have going on. I have a few videos coming out this week. And we got to do part 2 of this live stream last night of who everybody's a suspect. So we only got to do part 1 last night. It was a pretty long video. So be looking forward to that. And what else do I have? I feel like I'm forgetting some. Oh, watch parties are coming back too. Probably going to do a watch party or 2 this week. Try to see everybody's schedule so we can line it up and we can do that. So be expecting all that this week.
Hell yeah, man. Sounds
We'll try to put in some work this week.
Hell yeah, no doubt, brother. Yeah, you just let me know and we'll figure things out for sure. Will and Ernst saying Richie definitely is dead, or else the entirety of or Scream 6 does not work. Yeah, he's definitely dead. Not a doubt about it in my mind. Paula saying nice idea. Thank you. I don't know if you're talking to me, Paula, but thank you if you are. But if you're not, whoever she is talking to, thank her. At Femi saying, for some reason, I can't shake that Gale is going to turn in some way. I mean, I get it. It's not for everybody. You know, the theory and the thought of Gale fully turning Ghostface is not for everybody, but Kevin Williamson planted the seeds for this officially in Scream 4. He did. By making Gale somewhat resentful of Sidney because she went on and made her own book and told her own story. And Gale, living in Woodsboro, out of the limelight, married to Dewey, she couldn't stand not being the author of the Woodsboro murders anymore. She couldn't handle it. She thought she could at the end of Scream 3, but by the time we see her in Scream 4, she don't have no idea what to write. Why? Because there's no Ghostface murders happening. You know, so I think as a way to keep the legacy rolling, I think Gale being involved is not impossible, because I can't see this woman wanting to wait another 10 plus years like she did with Scream, between Scream 3 and Scream 4, and like she had to for Scream 4 and Scream 5, for more Ghostface killing sprees to take place or for more murders to happen. You know, because again, with Sam coming along in Scream 5 and 6, that rejuvenated Gale, got her back in the game. Now with Samantha out of the picture, Gale has no other story. So what do? You go back to the original story. Why? Because Sidney, the main cog in that original story, now has a daughter. Mm-hmm. So now, in Gale's perspective, we can restart this whole thing all over again. Only this time, Sidney is going to be Maureen, and Tatum is going to be Sidney of this generation. Basically, her plan would be to kill off Sidney, abduct Tatum in the process. I don't think Gale's motive would be to kill Tatum, because she needs Tatum. She needs Tatum in the story of her trauma of being the daughter of Sidney Prescott in the aftermath of her death, to keep telling Ghostface stories, to keep these killing sprees happening. She needs that, because without it, she's not that level of Gale Weathers that she wants to be. She's not, in so many ways, in her mind, the leading lady. Because when you think about it, when Ghostface says that to her in Scream 6, you never got the chance to be the leading lady, did you? To an extent, when you really think about it, she kind of did. Because yes, was Sidney the final girl? Yes, she was. Was she the main final girl? Yes. But Gale was also a final girl, but also Gale was the one who put the Stab universe into motion. She's the one who put all the murders that proceeded after the original film. That's all her. Her writing those books, that's all her. So, I mean, me personally, her legacy as Gale Weathers, the author of the Woodsboro murders, as Gale Weathers, this special investigative reporter that she loves to be known as, without Ghostface, there's nothing. So
she needs to reboot it.
Yes, great point. If this is about reboots.
Yep. And then, don't you know, history repeats itself?
Yep. Absolutely. See, we're on the same page with that, man. I know some people don't like the idea of Gail being the killer. I don't see what the big fucking problem is. I really don't. If they can make it make sense, like the biggest rivalry in the Scream franchise outside of Ghostface, Sidney, and Ghostface going after whoever they're going after is literally Sidney and Gail. So why not turn Gail Ghostface and have this rivalry meet its apex?
Do you think that who would replace like a Gail Weathers going forward to take that role as like the investigating journalist and all that?
That's where Kirby could come into play, but she's FBI. But she's an investigator.
She's one of the Meeks.
I don't know about all that. Especially Mindy. I'm not, no. Chad, that's just not Chad neither. Like, and if you look at the behind the scenes shot of Chad and Mindy talking to Tatum, bro, there's a moment where Chad's just like, he's tired of this shit, bro. He's tired. He's tired of going through this shit. My man ain't worried about making no books or doing no investigative reporting. He wants this shit to be done with. Like,
yeah.
In that moment when I seen that, he reminds me of Dewey in Scream 5 when Dewey's just like, I've been stabbed 9 times. Like, I done been through this how many times and how many years? Why would I want to go through this again? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, oh, man. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be a wrap to the Raw Footage Podcast, Episode 7. I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys for coming here and hanging out with us tonight. We still have 56 people here watching. We got up to as 78 people. Do not think I did not acknowledge that. You guys have been awesome tonight. And keep your notifications on because I am going to be going live later on in the week for another episode of the Raw Footage Podcast. And as well as I will tell you guys, I'm going to be throwing a little party on Saturday night. So again, keep your notifications on so you guys can get all the latest content updates here to the channel. You guys have a great night. Get some rest. Enjoy your day tomorrow. If I don't catch you guys tomorrow, I will catch you guys on the next stream. Destin, I'll catch you backstage, brother.
All right, man. Bye, everyone. Mama say, mama, 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 musa. Mama, mama. All right, I'll shut the fuck up.
Come on!
You are now watching I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel.
I shot him 6 times.